William, eu te entendo. Se vocês não puderem assistir a Run, vai ter o VOD aqui na Twitch e no YouTube depois que acabar o evento. Vai estar tudo certinho, cortadinho, enviado pra lá.
Alright, hello everybody, what's going on? My name is KingJ004, and welcome to Splatoon. This is a game made by a
Esse é o KingJ0444, monstro de Splatoon.
Nintendo, is that right? Yeah, Nintendo. So they made this third-person shooter where you're a kid that can transform into a squid and shoot ink. It's pretty cool. With me, I have my two commentators. I have Hydrus, who speedruns Lego Star Wars and a little bit of Splatoon on the side, just a tiny bit. And then we have... Oh, sorry.
Esse é o Splatoon 1.
You may not know who I am. I'm a newer age runner of this game.
E o microfone do cara é meio zoado mesmo, infelizmente.
And talk about everyone.
And then we have Tones Ballones, who you guys may know as the guy who raised $6,000 by flossing.
Yep. Is he you?
We don't talk about that. We've been over this.
Yeah, he might.
Anyhow, he's here.
O KingJ eu acho que não tava fazendo Trackmania, deixa eu verificar. Não, o que tava fazendo Trackmania era o virtual.
Congratulations, it's a girl.
Agora, estão comentando lá qual a raça escolhida, né? Qual vai ser uma menina ou um menino. E a mulher falou: parabéns, você tem uma menina agora. Então ele vai jogar de menina. E 3, 2, 1, começar. GL. Bem, esse é o jogo Splatoon. Ou quem nunca jogou esse jogo, você vive num mundo pós-apocalíptico em que todas as pessoas são homem-lula e você tem uma bazuca que gera tinta e quando você gera tinta você consegue atravessar essa tinta fazendo um mergulho dentro dela e também o jeito que você utiliza para acertar os inimigos. Então as primeiras telas são um tutorial de como você utilizar tinta para escalar a parede, utilizar tinta para sobrescrever outras tintas que já estão no local. Então são bastante coisinhas de plataforma bem simples para você entender como funciona o jogo. Está de dia na casa dele, ele mora na Europa e lá são acho que 7 horas da manhã agora. E os povos são do mal. Você é uma lula e os povos são do mal. Então, eu sem querer te dei o spoiler. Sim, Splatoon se passa no mundo nosso no ano 4000 e alguma coisa. Que após uma guerra mundial e explodiu umas bombas, se criou um povo humanoide que começou a se adaptar junto com outras criaturas. Então, os personagens principais do Splatoon, eles são descendentes da humanidade. É explicado mais no Splatoon 2, mas basicamente isso.
And it only takes a very small mistake to make a mistake that big that can miss the cycle, so...
É o clássico fighting. Cara, eu juro pra você que essa foi a explicação que me deram. Então se tiver errado depois eu corrijo, eu vou verificar depois. Mas a explicação que me deram é que é um mundo pós-apocalíptico criado a partir de seres que são geneticamente parecidos com os humanos, só que superiores.
Because if you die in this stage, it's possibly even more of a time loss because the checkpoints are extremely spread out. One thing I didn't mention is that KingJ is using a control style known as sticks. 95% of Splatoon speedrunners who play like semi-seriously use motion, which is you tilt the controller. What KingJ is doing is he's using both analog sticks for camera, for like the camera movement and like analog movement. And just know that this is pretty uncommon, but this is just his preference, like preferential way to play the game.
Então, segundo a timeline do Splatoon, há 12 mil anos atrás vivia os humanos. Tem um humano que é enterrado, encontrado no Sucking Scroll, que é uma tela 26, se não me engano, no Splatoon 1. Depois que teve
Next level, pretty
a
safe.
Grande Guerra,
I'm gonna be
Great
having an
Surf
extra
War,
armor than you normally
os
would. You
humanos
don't
foram
really have armor
extintos,
at all. This wastes about a
e
second.
por conta disso
Not
começou a
bad.
era
Yeah, I
dos
actually have KJ's
moluscos,
browser
muitos anos
inside here
depois,
ready to
e
memorize.
o
So
jogo
in every
Splatoon
single
se
world
passa
besides World
2
1, there
mil
is like
anos
three
após a
different types of levels.
primeira
Normal level,
era
an
dos
octoling
moluscos,
level, and a octostriker level. This is an octoling level. You find these enemies called
e
octolanes, and
tem
they kind of
o
look like you, and they
é,
have the
o
same gun as you.
segundo
So
Great Surf
if you
War,
stand too
que
still,
são
you
100 anos
will
antes do
die.
primeiro
And you
jogo,
notice picked up the armor
e
there,
100
which
anos
is
They
antes,
do
e
look
no
kind of
Splatoon
funny.
2
yeah,
são
yeah.
100 anos depois.
You got armor there right at the beginning. Only loses like 1 second. Ooh, almost.
Yeah, and that's really good because that guy on the grates is extremely random. If you don't grab the armor, you can do everything right, and they'll still just laser you with their bullets, and it's really unfortunate. So the safety armor doesn't take too much time, and it makes it so that the level's consistent.
Yes, and it can be quite catastrophic. Something I didn't or we all didn't mention is that at the end of every level, you have to touch the Zapfish to end the level. This is including Octavio, so we just need to get to the Zapfish at the end
Eu
of every
colei pra
level as fast
vocês
as
aí
possible.
a timeline do
Okay,
Splatoon.
And
Se você olhar
for
uma das
those
primeiras
viewers
fotos,
out
é
there,
um
we do have
cara
to pray for you all for your
enterrado,
well-being.
um fóssil de um humano
taking over the
jogando no
safety armor
Nintendo
here. This
Wii
is
U.
the Octostriker level, and the main mechanic is that there's this giant blob at the end. It's called an Octostriker. I like to call it a blob though. And when you pop out of the ink, he will see you and fire this giant tornado nuclear strike thing. It's called an ink strike, and you have to stay hidden most of the time. If you stay out of the ink for too long, you will
Eu também achei estranho, eu fui até atrás da timeline.
kill those enemies
É,
there.
o
The
rato
reason he can do this
é
in the middle of the
você
stage is
dá
that he's got to
exclamação
quick kill
agenda
this
pra saber o que
boss.
tá no
Now,
jogo.
normally in the other Octostriker
Desculpa,
levels,
eu fui ver o bagulho da
you can't just go around the
timeline
arena,
e
but there's
estou
walls
totalmente
there.
perdido. Peraí que eu
So
tô me
with the
achando.
Ink Zuka, it's a giant bazooka thing. It's a special. Think of like an ultimate in Overwatch. You can quick kill that boss very well
É,
if you
aquilo era
space
um
the 3
boss,
shots.
você
It did
basicamente tinha
I miss the ink
que
Zuka. That was
destruir
definitely pretty
os
special in
pedaços dela,
Splatoon 1. They just
dele,
got
mas
rid
por
of it with
conta
all the other
da explosão de
specials.
tiro
So
que
on
você
this
fez,
first
você já
boss,
destruiu
they're
anteriormente,
gonna
então
see
você só
burst
deu o último
bombs. We were
tiro
talking about burst
e
bombs
acabou
quite a
com ele.
bit. They got rounded to 80% for a reason. They save so much time in this category. It has so many niche little applications. 16 is a pretty long one. 16 is one of the
Não, a
true
cor da
only
tinta
one of
não
the
faz
only
nenhuma
true
diferença.
honest roller
Cada
sections
Splatoon tem a sua
in
própria
the
cor de
month coming
tinta.
up. You'll
Então,
be seeing
se
the
você tiver
first
o
instance of
verde,
bans. Ooh,
você
that was
consegue
really time spent doing that.
atravessar, mergulhar
Oh, that was
e
really
dar tiro
close.
no
Yeah, yeah.
inimigo. Normalmente o inimigo tem a cor rosa, que são as cores
Oh, that's what we're
dos
looking for.
povos.
Yeah, it saves.
Então você consegue
Also,
utilizar a sua cor
oh,
para
sorry.
ir
Oh, you're
atravessando a
speaking.
fase.
I was just gonna
E
say, at the
cada
end of
fase
each
você
level, I was
joga
gonna mention
com
this before,
um Inkling
but I just love
diferente que
how
tem uma cor
in King
diferente.
Plus, the Zapfishes are actually not real
Os seus
Zapfishes, they're
personagens são,
Portuguese,
vamos dizer
and
assim,
So cute.
sometimes
os
like ones
guerreiros
will
ou o
actually look at the
exército
collections of the
mais
finisher.
avançado
So
Yeah,
para
back
a
over to
Grande
Sonic, too
Guerra
complicated in the stage.
Great
You're just
Surf.
going up and down, left to right horizontally. Facing these cannon shots can be
Atualmente,
a
Final
bit where you
Fantasy
want to
VII
shoot
sim está
just enough
sendo
to
a
get
run
close to
mais demorada
the grate, and
dessa
he's gonna get
edição.
it first try there, nice. And this is gonna take, I think, around 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm not sure, but this could be a great time for donations because there's literally nothing going on.
Agora pensa comigo, você é uma lula que
Fun
pode
fact, in the
atravessar
top
as
left there,
tintas
scroll is actually there.
e também pode se transformar
Nice.
numa
Oh, I
mini
actually
lula
think
para
it's a lot
enganar
more
o
fun.
inimigo. Esse jogo é muito
Yeah, we can
brisa
still throw
e
it to
tendo
some
brisando
donations
novamente.
because we're just counting these
Como
off
vocês
as
podem
official
ver,
level.
ele utiliza
All right.
bastante a forma de
We've got
lula
one from
dele para
Rocky
poder
Zushi
correr.
for $25 who
E
said,
como ele já
"Had to
sabe onde vai
donate
estar
during the
tudo, ele
run
já
for my
deixa
only
tudo planejado
boy,
para
only my
dar
favorite
as
game
tintas.
series ever. Good luck to King J." Mommy. Can't quite do the sound, but I'll try.
That was great. Keep doing that.
Yeah, keep
And
it
then
up.
we've got another one from CPL Griffin, who for $15, who says, "Donating for one of my favorite game series. Can't wait to see a quick Squid Kid."
Awesome. Actually, this is a good time. Do you guys like Woomy or Vimo?
Agora ele
That's like
está
the real question
ele
everybody
está
needs to know.
Woomy for
na
sure.
segunda parte já do
Woomy,
jogo,
dude.
em
All the
que
way.
aparecem uns
Vimo
inimigos
guy.
chamados Spreaders,
What?
e
Now,
esses
you're gonna
sim
be seeing
conseguem
KJ
fazer
take this
tinta e
section a little bit safe. There's these
desmarcar a
giant
sua própria
rotating
tinta.
wheels. I don't know what to call
Então,
them, pinwheels.
você, tanto o casual
Ooh, went
quanto
for
o speedrunner,
the
tem que tomar
jump.
cuidado para
Let's
ele
go.
não acertar a tinta
That
no
just
seu
be
caminho,
kind of
senão você
detrimental
vai
to
perder
checkpoints. Pretty
momento.
far space back.
O jogo sim tem um modo daltônico, então todo mundo consegue jogar tranquilamente ele, você consegue ajustar o nível de daltonismo que você quer jogar. Me diz um herói, Harun, que não faz toda uma meleca, toda uma sujeira. Olha, por exemplo, o Superman. Ele destrói a cidade para salvar um ônibus. Ele, na verdade, ele destrói um trem completo para salvar um garoto. Os mapas do jogo são muito caóticos. E como ele tá fazendo muito rápido, é mais difícil ainda de você entender o mapa que ele quer. O objetivo de cada fase é você chegar até aquela bolinha de tinta, explodir ela e pegar, que é essa cabeça de pato aí. William, muito obrigado por estar até agora. Você aparece aí sim, vai estar outro host provavelmente. Agora trocamos de cor, foi com um azulzinho mais claro, na minha opinião a cor mais bonitinha do jogo. E novamente temos os spreaders.
Okay, so 17 is kind of long. We have to kill a bunch of these octo-snipers to reach the end. Ooh, using a consistent strat there.
Nice.
O que ele fez, por que ele jogou aquela bomba ali? Existem mais duas estratégias para passar daquela ponte. Uma é com a bomba e você não precisar atirar e você dá um mergulho de fé para pegar a tinta. Mas como é maratona, você tem que ser safe e você dá um tirinho só para garantir que vai ter tinta suficiente.
Put ink on your feet, then you miss that jump and you die and go all the way back to the start of that checkpoint.
Eu não creio que tenha vermelho e preto. Se não me engano, no Splatoon 1 eles não utilizavam essas cores, mas para trazer uma sensação de crianças, é um jogo de família, sabe? Então eles não utilizavam essas cores muito dark, apesar da história.
Without any of that, he's really inconsistent.
And at the end of the levels, you're going to see me throw a bomb into the barrier. That immediately breaks it. Any bomb works, but burst bomb is the fastest.
Yes, all sub-weapons instantly explode the Zapfish.
Aquele 9.999, da onde você viu? Ah, tá, do lado direito. Aquilo é a tinta do seu personagem. Como você está jogando no New Game Plus, você tem o score máximo, então você consegue gastar tinta à vontade. A primeira vez que você joga o jogo, você não tem todas as cores. Então, né, você não consegue gastar muita tinta, às vezes você tem que recarregar. Davi, eu estudei um pouco por cima as runs, outras eu já conhecia e alguns dos jogos eu já tinha jogado. Então, estou trazendo mais experiência e traduzindo o mix simultâneo dele.
It's very easy to die if you don't move out immediately. The teeth have pretty big, like, hitboxes, but luckily in NG Plus it's a lot more simplified, and pretty much destroyed that boss with...
Esse é o primeiro boss, eu saí daqui que eu tava escrevendo um negócio. O primeiro boss é uma planta carnívora que tenta plantar uma armadilha de cor e te engolir. Você dá alguns tiros rápidos no dente dela, só pra você sair de perto, e aí dá um tiro nos olhos dela. Lembrando, por ser um mundo meio que pós-apocalíptico, todos os inimigos são mutações de humanos com algum animal planta.
Really good.
And it's got some banging music.
Yep.
It's for sure, dude. The music's amazing. I might dance. I don't know.
Okay, this stage, not everything is invisible.
Nessa tela é uma das minhas telas favoritas, porque nem tudo na tela está visível, então você tem que utilizar a tinta para descobrir o seu caminho. Só que se você não utiliza a tinta e tenta andar nesses caminhos que estão sem nada nele, o jogo não lê o objeto e às vezes você morre.
because it's the first level that you really need to just do over and over again to make sure you know where you're going and you know what to
Tinta
expect.
preta, tinta branca é um motivo meio óbvio, né? Ninguém ia ter maturidade suficiente para usar tinta branca. A tinta preta, o Japão não gosta de utilizar tanta a paleta de cor preto quando trata de público infantil. E vermelho seria sangue. Então, para evitar esse tipo de coisa, tirar e colocar esse rosinha mais fofo aí.
Nice job, dude.
So Ryan, coming up here. Sorry, my bad if I cut you off. This is my favorite part.
Esses inimigos, são chamados de Zapfish. Zapfish são polvo que por algum motivo consegue voar e quando você explode eles, eles jogam a sua tinta.
Yeah, you don't have to kill actually any of the enemies there. You can just take a very direct route through the invisible platforms. And like kind of Tones mentioned in his GDQ run for 80%, the shower and G there can punish you because you don't normally hit the checkpoint at the end there.
Splatoon 3 com certeza vai sair. A franquia do Splatoon é muito grande no Japão e quando é muito grande lá eles criam novamente.
Yeah, because those jumps are fairly precise, you need pretty much your max distance.
Yes.
So if you don't have enough ink on your feet, then you will just not make it. But yeah, like Hydra said, NG+, there's no variance in your...
Então, a tinta branca é a mais usada, mas não para esse jogo. Nesse jogo ia ser meio bizarro. Cara, se você parar pra pensar que o seu personagem é uma lula que atira tinta, entra na tinta e é descendente dos humanos, um pouco voando é a coisa mais tranquila da run.
Back in 2015, when this game was released,
a Nintendo ama fazer coisas dark por trás, então eu acho que não existe nenhum jogo real da Nintendo que seja 100% infantil.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. That's really cool actually when developers speedrun the game or are aware of the speedrun.
Yeah, we are definitely aware that the developers know.
Agora ele pegou a Izuka, que é uma bazuca de tinta que para poder ver seus inimigos.
Campaign for Squid Amiibo, and only in specific levels, I believe, like 4 levels don't have an IGT. Those are like limited ink stages. Those are pretty cool.
Also, that Inkzuka section went really bad. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, something I didn't mention is that KJ threw one burst bomb to cover 2 ink rails there, kind of in the middle of the level, and that's because
e agora ele tá indo bem, segundo os splits dele que tem na SpeedrunsBrasil, ele tá só alguns segundos atrasado porque ele tá indo um pouco mais safe, mas tá indo muito de boa, tá destruindo as fases como sempre.
There are 2 flutter levels in this game, and they are known as the RNG levels. The flutters, specifically on the last section of this level, can give us a random pattern.
There's also random pattern.
Agora tem o chuveiro de tinta, é muito legal, é muito bizarro e muito legal ao mesmo tempo, porque se você ficar atirando onde ele tá passando, ele não só deixa rosa, como às vezes ele mescla as duas cores e vira uma cor totalmente diferente. É um bug que tem.
Yeah, at the end there is a single enemy that has a key that's required to beat the level, and the single enemy is on a cycle. He's always going to be in the same spot, but the flutters are not going to be in the same spot.
Ele diz que os inimigos normalmente vão estar no mesmo lugar, a não ser que sejam inimigos voadores ou em certas caixas. Porque essas caixas têm pequeno RNG.
You're seeing a lot of instances in this run where KJ would be picking up keys to unlock cages. This is a pretty common strategy, or not strategy, but mechanic to advance to the next part of the stage.
O nome dos inimigos é Octarians, se eu não me engano. E os Octarians que tem a Anki vai estar com a chave agora, um dos Octarians. E sempre vai ser o mesmo Octarian, então ele vai matar simplesmente quem precisa. Só que esses chuveiros de tinta são RNG, ele quase foi esmagado ali.
Fun fact, on the gamepad, the flutters are represented by large yellow, or not yellow circles, white circles, and the key guy is a small, tiny guy. So you can technically see where the key guy is before you even enter the maze, which might help some casual players.
É o único jeito de você saber qual
That's
que
the first
era
time I ever took a death there
o
intentionally, by the way.
inimigo-chave ali, é que o
As soon
inimigo
as I
tem
missed the
uma,
jump, I was like, maybe
literalmente
it's
uma
better that
chave
I missed it. Like,
no
the jump
cinto,
to the
mas
flutter,
ele
like coming
demora
around
um
the
pouco pra
corner,
aparecer.
because it would have reset the flutters, but I did not know that the key was going to reset. And have a
Então,
different
a
cycle.
lógica dos mapas é basicamente uma guerra entre dois lugares. Os, os, os povos Octários, eles querem dominar a grande parte das áreas, e aí eles começaram a invadir a área dos Inklings, que são os seus personagens, e meio que vira uma guerra.
Well, I respawned over. Wait.
É uma guerra por território,
You're
por
at the
assim
start,
dizer.
buddy.
Oh, I thought it was on the other side. Oh no. It's all falls apart.
Yeah, so
It's all falls apart
this
here.
No, yeah, the geysers jump, you miss the checkpoint. So if you miss the jump, then you die and
Oh, I thought I hit the checkpoint.
O motivo de ele voltar naquele lugar que ele estava e voltou, se ele tivesse continuado em frente, por algum motivo o jogo não ia ler onde seria o caminho para ele passar e ele cairia no buraco e morrer. Então ele voltou um pouquinho só pro jogo ler o que tem mais à frente. E agora tem um sub-boss, que é um povo que voa e tem uma piscina gigante. Só que você mata ele muito rápido explodindo ele. Você tem dá um tiro de bazuca e você mata ele.
The jump he was going for is called geyser jump, and if you can use the momentum from the geyser to boost on the left platform there, and if you get it first try, it saves like 2 seconds over using the right jump. I only know 2 players that go for that, or have one for that. Definitely pretty hard.
And I'm that guy. I go for it.
I also used to go for it, but then I hated myself and just stopped doing it.
So let me explain my thoughts going into this run. By the way, the estimate you're seeing on the screen, that was back when I had a 58-minute time. Since then, I've PB'd a lot, and my PB is now down to a 54-minute time. So I'm just going for all the strats I know, even if they end up like that.
O Runner falou que quando ele começa uma fase, às vezes a fase mostra o tempo de PB dele, e o PB dele foi destruído há um tempo atrás, mas não foi no próprio console dele, foi no do amigo. Então o videogame dele tá ele falando que o tempo dele ainda está mais devagar do que o costume.
This is a pretty cool boss. I don't think. Is this in Splatoon 2? I don't.
What, Blackberry?
I don't think so.
Blackberry?
No, the third boss here.
Oh, no. The only
Agora
boss
o segundo boss, o Behemoth,
Yeah.
ou uma
So
ostra,
yeah, I
se
just
você
wanted to quickly
preferir.
mention, this is the level tones, right, where you guys found rapid fire glitch?
Yes.
Agora ele vai fazer um truque chamado Fire Glitch, em que consiste ele atirar e pular ao mesmo tempo, só que ele aperta tão rápido que o personagem não pula e pensa que tem dois players atirando na mesma tinta. Então, como você pode ver, a tinta é distribuída até para trás.
So I reviewed the tapes, and it turns out that there's a glitch in the game where if you switch your weapons, your gun will fire a bullet,
E
regardless of what your
também
cooldown is.
esse glitch tem duas formas de fazer. A outra forma é igual o Cuphead, em que você atira e toca de arma e fica dando pequenos tapas, atira e toca, atira e toca bem rápido. Ele pensa que você está atirando com a bazuca e com a minigun, aí com isso dobrando o dano e o número de tinta na tela. Esse tipo de glitch é utilizado agora em quase todos os boss até o final.
But pretty cool story. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, so we're heading to World 5 now. World 5 doesn't have a boss fight at the end of it. I typically go around these worlds, complete all of them, and then do the boss in the middle. But because World 5's boss is Octavio, we're gonna wait till the very end to do him.
Yeah, that was kind of a community decision because it felt weird to do the final boss. Like, the final boss is a pretty big chunk of the run. I think it's about 8 minutes of it. Well, it's less than NG+. But it feels weird to do the boss first.
No final da fase, ela pega uma cabeça de ursinho de pelúcia, em que, vamos dizer assim, essa guerra, para não ser uma guerra de destruir cidades igual eram as guerras humanas, eles fazem meio que uma competição. Então, cada lado tem uma base e você tem que defender essa base e invadir a base do inimigo e pegar aquelas cabeças.
reason
Só
you'll see it later
que,
in the
querendo ou
stage.
não, é uma disputa
Burst
meio que
bombs are
mortal.
very
Então,
effective for creating these
todos
switches. It will
os
instantly
inimigos que você
activate them.
mata
You
no
don't have to
jogo, você
slowly shoot
literalmente
it.
matou ele.
Nice blocks there. Yeah, he's gonna pop out his Inkzuka, kill these 3 Octarians, turn around, and then the next 2 Octo Snipers will spawn right behind
Sim,
him.
é uma
He
guerra
has just enough time to
disfarçada.
kill his shoe, and oh, he barely does it, or he barely gets it there. And you can actually hit those 2 switches a lot earlier than intended, and it turns these to
Resumiu com a
like ball
palavra
shapes, like
Nintendo.
Tetris pieces. I don't know what to call it, but it turns them very fast.
Tecnicamente, ele consegue ir até o final boss fora de ordem,
The faster.
mas na categoria NG Plus ele não
Alright, so right here I'm seeing,
pode
the bubbler to
fazer isso.
get
É,
invincibility
na
underneath the buster.
categoria, se não me engano, N%, ele skipa 2 boss pra ir diretamente no último. Eles estão tentando descobrir ainda um jeito de skipar pro final boss logo de cara.
Flutter RNG, it's not as bad as the actual flutter levels, but it went well, so. Alright, so this level has a few skips in it. Some pretty tight ones as well.
Yeah, a lot of tight jumps. This is a very sponge-heavy stage. You'll also see a level like this in World 2. Why it's rated late in 90% because burst bombs save a lot of time.
Agora ele vai encontrar as primeiras esponjas do jogo. Esponjas são Inklings, são, na verdade, vamos dizer assim, o polvo mutante em que absorve tinta de lula. Foi criado só para absorver tinta de lula. Só que eles são um pouco burros, então no momento que eles dão as costas é um pouco vulnerável.
Instead of slowly shooting them. So you'll be seeing that a lot with the sponges in this stage.
Nessa tela, a partir dessa tela você vê bastante esponja que tenta absorver a tinta do personagem principal.
Shouts to balloon jump. Wait, what?
Oh my god, that's happened to me so many times.
I've never seen that. Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah,
I've never seen that happen to me.
Yeah, you forgot to ink the sponge below you.
That balloon is supposed to hit that.
Yeah, there's a very small random chance that the balloon doesn't inflate.
Oh yeah, so
ele disse que tem uma pequena chance de aparecer uma bomba gigante que vai atrapalhar o jogo, mas a chance é mínima, então ele não estava nem preocupado com isso.
The chance of it happening is more likely the more you throw a burst bomb. And you throw a burst bomb at an object or a surface, and it has the chance to just completely disappear or phase through that surface.
Oh, no, I know how that works.
Oh, okay.
So, like, on a sponge, if you throw the bomb directly at the corner, specifically on
Aí
the corner,
você pode ver que o inimigo é chamado de Zapfish.
somewhere on an edge or a side.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought you were referring to
Então agora ele está utilizando uma bazuca que é basicamente uma... Você atira a bazuca e cria um cogumelo de tinta.
There's one specific instance where it happens. In the second level I did, level 13, there's like a moving platform. And that's always where I see the bug that Hydrus is talking about, where I throw a bomb at the moving platform and it just clips through.
Yeah, the main...
that's in shifting platforms,
yes.
Right?
The main reason why the world record lost in 80% lost 8 seconds. You didn't know. This is the second instance of minor RNG in the run. This is the second and final flutter stage that you play, pretty much. And this first phase doesn't really matter too much. It's mostly the last maze, which in my opinion has possibly some of the most variance because you have to find a key guy.
And not only that, there's going to be an enemy after we get the first key that has the second key.
Yes.
Agora ele tem que pegar o... Agora ele vai ter que pegar novamente as chaves e ele vai pegar a chave de um cara e quando ele pegar essa chave vai aparecer um segundo cara com uma chave que ele tem que descobrir quem ele é. Encontrou a chave, é meio RNG onde essa chave vai aparecer. Encontrou até que rápido.
Oh my god, that's horrible placement.
That is one of the worst RNG spots I've actually seen. All the way on the map there.
That is
optimally.
Alright, so good RNG.
Foi uma boa RNG, ele encontrou rápido todas as chaves dessa vez e pegou o troféu da tela. Agora não existe mais nenhum RNG até o final da run. Vai ser pura execução agora.
So it's overall pretty fun run to get into.
This level's pretty cool. This is based off of Salt Spray Rig, and this one, if you didn't know that these skips existed in multiplayer, well, enjoy this. I use this a lot in multiplayer to get away from my enemies, just doing these jumps and then climbing up these pipes
The
here.
intended route is you have to go around those barriers, but you can kind of just jump down the pipes.
Ele falou que quando você é casual, você não utiliza muito os canos para subir, mas ele utiliza bastante, principalmente no multiplayer, em que ele abusa na encanação que o pessoal não atira tinta para pegar por trás dos inimigos.
And pats the sapfish, I love that.
Agora vai ser um verdadeiro rush das telas, já que o PRNG é basicamente puxar o mais rápido possível, jogando tinta pra cima e pra baixo.
The latter half is absolutely so boring.
Right, yeah, so this is this first part right here is basically always going to be the same, but what we didn't mention about Splatoon is that it has global cycles. So as soon as I enter a level, cycles are running throughout the entire level.
Ele falou que ele chegou a comentar que o ciclo dos inimigos, conforme que os inimigos você vai andar, dá pra você ver do começo da tela e nunca é alterado depois que você vê do começo da tela. Então, uma vez que você dá uma olhada, você já sabe mais ou menos como que eles vão agir. É um ciclo global, por assim dizer.
Thank you. Alright, so yeah, I'm trying to hit this specific cycle. I call it moving cycle. That's the best one I can hit. But it's gonna be dependent on whether or not I get past these enemies without dying.
And he will pick up an Igzuka here, but the only reason he picks it up is because it's just in the way. It does nothing for the run. Or in this level. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I remember picking that up in any percent, and then whenever I was waiting on one of these cycles, I would just spam the Igzuka.
Oh, really? That's...
You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pull
ele disse que esses elevadorzinhos aí são os piores pesadelos do N%. Quando ele fazia o N%, ele tinha que dar um jeito de entender o ciclo dos inimigos. Mas no momento que ele mudou pro NG Plus, ele percebeu que não precisa decorar esse tipo de coisa. Então ele pode seguir o mesmo padrão de quase todas as runs que faz, a não ser que ele atrase o ciclo. Run de XCOM deve ser muito divertido esse cara. Se fazer run de Darkest Dungeon já é divertido pra caramba.
Yeah, you can fire multiple Igzuka shots in a row, as well as use that with like bomb rush stuff with the RFG. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I just did that Igzuka shot to be a little disrespectful. Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind me.
Alright, this is another one of these Ink Strike levels. Don't worry, there's only one more of both of these types of levels. This one's the most annoying one because we have to grab a key.
Essa é uma das poucas telas que tem aquele bichinho mergulhando, em que você vai até chegar no final da tela e explodir ele para poder liberar o resto. Então tem algumas chaves para ele pegar, mas as chaves são sempre setadas, então ele sabe exatamente onde vai estar tudo. E aí chegou novamente no mini boss, que é o Final Checkup, e só chega nele e explode ele o mais rápido possível.
This is the next, it's the last one that we do. The last Ink Strike.
When this game came out, Bluefin Depot wasn't even a released map.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I forgot about that.
It was just unreleased.
A próxima tela, ela veio como uma, não uma DLC, uma atualização. Quando o jogo começou, não existia a próxima tela. Então foi adicionado no meio de um patch, porque esqueceram de colocar no jogo final, no Day One.
For the first few months, actually, I think for the first few, like, year or two, they continually update the game with new maps, weapons, modes sometimes, and it really keeps the game fresh, no pun intended.
Yeah, it's definitely intentional. So, oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
A partir desse momento você pegou um poder chamado Get Stop, onde você pula em cima dessas válvulas para tinta, e os inimigos começaram a fazer mais planejamento, então eles podem cercar.
If you die and kill these enemies on the same frame, that they die. Like if you die and the last enemy dies, they will no longer spawn. And
E
yeah, so I've had that happen
ele
before, and
disse
it's a
que se
really
você
weird
morrer
occurrence. I think I'm the
e
only
eles
person who's
morrerem
ever
junto
had
com
that.
você,
That is
ele
true.
nunca mais
I've never heard
spawna.
that happening.
You'll notice
Então,
Yeah,
KJ.
it's on that
esses
guy Joe's
inimigos, se
video,
eles
so
te
You'll notice
matarem e morrer
KJ
ao
when
mesmo
he
tempo,
goes on
o
top of
jogo
these
buga e não
gushers,
consegue mais ler
especially in the
ele.
next levels, that it's faster to go on top of the gusher as you activate it. That means you don't have to climb it. This is the same kind of application with sponges, because think about it, if you're
Sim, o Splatoon
on top of a
recebe
sponge, you don't have
atualização
to
até
climb
hoje,
it,
o
and there's
Splatoon
none of
1.
that like lag
E o
frames
2
when you're
também recebe
climbing when a
bastante
sponge like is
atualização.
expanding. Little tiny optimization that really adds up.
Alright, so this level is also pretty cycle heavy. This is a pretty easy cycle though.
Esse level também
I
é
would say
feito
there's not really much to talk
de
about, so we can
ciclo
kind of throw
global
it
único.
into donations for
E
this
ele
level.
pegou o
Yeah.
ciclo global mais
Wonderful.
fácil do
All right,
jogo,
we've got a
da
donation
tela.
from
Então ele
Tailspots
só
for
vai
$500.
bem rápido,
Love some
praticamente
Splatoon. Shout out to
reto.
all my friends in the Splatoon community. Go Team Egg. Emo. And then we've got Captain Woomy for $25 who says, watching the Splatoon run while playing Turf War in Splatoon 2. Go Agent 3 and King J. Save the Zapfish, kill the Octolings. Woomy!
Por essa tela ser bem
And
free
then
flow,
we-
de os caras vão começar a ler um pouco de
one
doação.
from Starry Blue for $15 who said, had to donate for my wife and I's favorite series. Thank you for running this great game. Inkling Love, can I get a Woomy train? Woomy! And then there is... And then we've got another one from Ketchup for $250 who says, so glad to see Splatoon being run at SGDQ this year. Good luck with the run and go Team Chicken.
Alright, so coming up here, this is a pretty cool skip where again.
Agora ele vai tentar fazer um skip meio maluco em que você explode e se joga. E por algum motivo isso faz você conseguir jogar ir pro outro lado. Então você dá uma cabeçada do nada e vai pro outro lado.
The region under that balloon platform is actually swimmable. So if you hit the balloon and then jump onto it, you can clear that gap pretty easily.
Yeah, we did the same thing in Sponge Observatory, which I think was level 23.
Yeah, that was a bit less noticeable, but the same concept. Another really speaking of 23, Sponge Observatory, another heavy sponge stage. First bombs will use extensively in this stage. They save so much time.
Oh god, I missed it.
Oh, you find it a bit too early.
That's alright, you have unlimited ink.
It's true, yeah, you can spam burst bombs. It's brain dead.
Alright, so yeah, this level is very enemy dependent, honestly. Oh, what?
You want to delay shooting that sponge a bit so the octoball, because if the octoballs hit the sponge, will actually deflate it, and you will get knocked off. It's actually
and you want them to pass by. These octoballs here, we spent so much time when this game, when we're developing this game, we spent so much time trying to find a good setup to just jump over them so that they went past you and died. And then probably 6 months went by and we realized, wait a second, you can just kill them and it's faster. So we just wasted so much time trying to find this strategy that looked cooler, and it turns out it was actually slower.
So there's a strat here called Canonless. I don't do it. If this one doesn't save as much as the later Canonless. Oh, well. Alright then.
Yeah, Canonless is essentially you jump over these platforms and you throw a burst bomb on top of each sponge, and you skip having to use the intended cannon there to shoot the sponges. But like King J's...
Yeah, and you have to be really careful because all the enemies, if they shoot the sponge, it deflates it. And if you jump at the same time the sponge deflates, then you're kind of airborne, so it eats the jump and you just die.
Yeah.
Sim, guys, eu tô aqui conversando com o Davi vai assumir pouco o host agora da madrugada. Infelizmente eu vou ter que sair, eu tô um pouco longo, eu tenho dormido muito pouco ultimamente, então eu vou tentar descansar o suficiente para conseguir tancar um pouco mais tarde para vocês aí.
Splatoon. It's mostly a game about skill and routing. Pretty much.
Yeah, so right there you may have noticed that I didn't even touch the Zapfish, and the reason why is that there's an Octoling that shoots towards you, or is shooting towards me to try to attack me, and it goes right through the Zapfish, and it just works so perfectly that in the game's coding, we're playing as an Inkling, so Inklings and Octolings actually have the same value. So when an Octoling launches towards us and they hit the end of the level trigger, the game thinks it's us. So it's kind of like a wrong warp in a way in that sort of fact.
Yeah, that was discovered by a Japanese runner. That was when the Japanese community first started interacting with the English community of this game. Tones might be able to explain more of that.
Yeah, this was back when we were still using Skype instead of Discord.
Wow.
We all jumped in a Skype call and we all watched the first ever run that was submitted to speedruns.com by a Japanese runner named Beat. And we saw him do that glitch and we all just popped off. It was amazing.
Yeah, that trick alone, I think that's exactly what got me into running Splatoon. I saw that at SGDQ2020 and I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no other Octolings that can accidentally trigger it like that, so that's the only time you get to see it in the run.
The way the Octoling super jumps, it's very specific. It actually does not work from the left side, only works from the right side, so you cannot do that glitch
Bem,
in all
Davi
scrolls,
entrou aí.
which would save a lot of
Ele
time
foi só pegar uma aguinha aí, ele já
Does
volta.
actually work from the left
Eu
side.
vou me indo descansar um
Yes,
pouquinho
you can do it in
e
all
daqui a
scrolls,
pouco eu
but it's
volto.
extremely hard.
I've never,
And I believe in 80% it's actually faster to go left side, but I'm not positive.
Really interesting. Yeah, I never get a little tidbit. I was
Olá.
trying to get it to work in all scrolls, but it's so hard.
Oh, and a good thing to mention, we mentioned before that
Aqui estou, Davi.
the Ink Striker
Vou
levels
botar
and the Octoling
de
levels
olhinho aqui de
are
fundo
based on
aqui para
multiplayer maps.
moderar o
That
chat, mas eu não
Octostriker
vou estar
level actually
falando.
wasn't a multiplayer map. That's the tutorial
Beleza, mano.
stage that you start.
Eu tô
that
só
you
aqui
play
abrindo rapidão,
just as
galera,
you boot up the game.
o feed
And
deles,
from any
And we don't get to see
any
that.
category from a new file, you are forced to play the tutorial and go
poder
through about 2
comentar
minutes
um pouco pra
of scenes
vocês.
and log mashing. Yeah, pretty cool fact. This stage has a lot of fans in it. You will notice some pretty precise movement of the fans. We shot that a bit too early, but luckily recovered it.
E aí, quem não me conhece, meu nome é Davi, tá ali escrito na esquerda da tela.
Now, you need about 3 shots
E
to bring the fan down at the correct amount. KJ gets it perfectly.
bora aí com o que eu posso trazer e acrescentar nessa run do Splatoon. Você pode mudar emote, apenas não spame muito. Não é muito legal ficar spamando, que aí polui um pouco o chat, né?
There we go. That was a pretty good fan level. I will take that.
And the end section was beautiful.
Yeah.
Bom, ali,
This is a
boa execução ali do runner.
probably the worst boss fights. We have to hit a lot of the little belly buttons on this boss fight. Octonozzle, and then he'll have his tentacle spawn. There is a strat that I don't do where from the bottom, once the tentacle spawns, if you throw a splat bomb at the top, you can actually shoot it from the bottom of the boss fight, but I just go up and lose like 5 seconds. So I think this is a good time because, again,
esse runner, existe uma strat um pouco mais complicada para esse boss, mas ele não usa porque ele não é muito bom nela. Então ele acaba perdendo 5 segundos de diferença para os outros runners.
From Squid Kid for $20 who says, I'm a kid. No, wait, I'm a squid. Wait, maybe I should be a kid. Actually, I like being a squid better. And then we've got another one from Jessica Cantaloupe for $30. It's a haiku. Agent 3 is here now. She's shooting ink everywhere. Defeat the Octos.
Bem, não é muito aquele distância luta, ele tá ali atirando nos pontos fracos do boss.
Alright, so on to World 1. About 40. Yeah, on to World 1. About 40 minutes into the run, and we're doing the first level in the game. Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it works out like that.
It's just like running Majora's Mask.
Yep.
Yeah, true. Alright, so World 1, the levels are basically just kill enemies to progress. That's basically what it is.
Yeah,
at least this first level.
Yeah, it's actually pretty absurd how many enemies you are required to kill to advance the level. Because it's kind of a building block stage. It kind of teaches you.
Agora ele vai precisar derrotar bastante inimigos para progredir. Parte do progresso dessas fases agora dependem dele derrotar inimigos específicos.
You can throw 2 splat bombs bombs there to insta the enemies. You don't have to actually shoot any of them. It's a really tiny New Game Plus exclusive strategy. I don't think KJ has practiced that much.
Yeah, and switching bombs is actually like really difficult because think of it. He's using a Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
Ali ele poderia, mas lá no início ele poderia ter jogado a bomba e executado os inimigos, mas ele preferiu atirar também. Não era necessário, mas é bom ficar arriscando, né?
It's really hard to get used to that movement.
Exactly.
So it's completely understandable to just like be like, I don't want to use a seeker right now, whatever.
Yeah, it's mainly why with RFG, that kind of controller specification that you mentioned, you generally want to be staying still when you're doing RFG. Now in a task setting, you'd be doing RFG pretty much in every enemy because it saves time. But for RTA, we mostly use it on standstill enemies like boss tentacles, Octa Strikers, those save a bit of time, and then like Octavio Fists, we stand still, completely still when we do RFG.
É sempre bom fazer algo um pouco mais safe durante a maratona, né? Que
Yeah, it was pretty good.
é aquela coisa, só tem uma tentativa, nervosismo, então é melhor não dar chance ao azar.
40 minutes in and the run just started. Perfect. Sounds good. All right, so this next level, this is Octocopters. This is, in any percent, would be a very, actually, it still is a very seeker-heavy level. I am going to have seekers equipped this entire time.
Seekers are the first level that you do use in any percent, and you use them pretty much use them a lot throughout the whole level, especially the ending where the entire floor is inked purple or magenta. I don't know what the shade of purple is.
I know, I'm colorblind. Like,
since the entire floor is inked, you'll be using a seeker to traverse.
Aparentemente o runner é daltônico.
Nice,
yeah, it's
really
actually kind of
clean.
interesting to mention. I'm actually colorblind, so sometimes when
Interessante.
I have had runs end because of the fact that I can't tell what color is what, so I just assume that I'm standing in my color. Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
That's happened before.
Meu Deus, velho. Ele tá falando que ele já perdeu o run porque ele não sabia qual era a cor que ele tava, porque ele é daltônico. Então vocês estão assistindo um daltônico fazer run de um jogo que é extremamente dependente de cor. Qual é a desculpa de vocês agora pra também não fazer umas speedruns de alguns joguinhos?
And I turned on colorblind mode because it would be locked blue and orange, and I went to the University of Florida, and that was their school colors.
Oh, nice. Shout outs to the school.
Go Gators.
I've had a lot of people, like when Splatoon was on the GDQ schedule, I had a lot of questions saying, gee, wait, Splatoon has a story? What? I find that hilarious.
Yeah, Splatoon is definitely one of those IPs. I think the last big new IP that Nintendo had was Pikmin.
Eu fico imaginando o cara jogando no multiplayer, velho. E com certeza ele joga no multiplayer, né? Então deve ser algo interessante de assistir.
Well, there's only 5 games on the Wii U, so.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think Mario.
Boa noite.
Yeah.
Wait, Nintendo made Mario? What? I thought they just made Splatoon.
Maybe in Zelda. Meme Run? I don't know if anyone knows.
Yeah.
They also made Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim?
Skyrim.
Yeah, Meme Run was a very cursed game for the Wii U.
What a great game. My Wii U actually is goes up a lot in value because you can't buy Meme Run anymore, and I have it on my Wii U.
Yeah, I don't know who got that on the eShop. So this trick he's gonna do is called Canonless, and it skips using a launch pad on the.
Pelo menos ele tá jogando no New Game Plus, né? Acredito que na outra categoria seria pior, né? Já que ele teria que se preocupar mais com a tinta.
Canonless in this game because when I first started watching speedruns, I was of course watching Super Mario 64, and everyone complains about Canonless, and now we get our own Canonless to complain about because this trick sucks.
I just like how in the Splatoon Discord we literally have a voice chat that says Canonless reset room or something like that.
Yep.
So.
The reason why he's not super jump from level 2
Não teve algo desse estilo aqui no Brasil, não? Também?
It's actually faster to jump from the level 2 platform to the boss 1 pedal. It's actually 1 second faster compared to super jumping, which is the sole exception that you'll see in this entire.
Com certeza teve um evento no Brasil aqui que teve algo similar a isso que você falou.
Yeah, so this is the first boss of the game. We ironically go from the first boss of the game to the last boss of the game.
Last phase gets a bit more complicated. It's going to be 3 rotating individual tiles instead of just a diagonal. And if you're too slow with getting up this wall, he will
Bom,
actually
esse boss aí, bem interessante a mecânica, ele tem que... o boss cai no chão, ele pinta um dos lados do boss, e ali tem ele tem que escalar o boss, porém tem aqueles bloquinhos específicos que ele tem que passar. Bem interessante esse boss.
Every level, we're going to be going to Octavio, the proper finale to this category. And I can...
And you may... Oh, sorry. I was just going to say,
Bom, agora ele tá se dirigindo ao final do jogo, né? O endgame.
Yeah, I think in NG Plus it takes about a little above 7 half-ish.
Yeah, my goal is like 740, I think, and I don't do all the big strats. So.
The main difference of this boss compared to Splatoon 2 is that this boss is a lot longer, but there's also a lot of skips that you can do. You're not going to be seeing them in this first phase. The main reason for that is he only fires 1 fist out at a time, and we manipulate in the other phases the 2 fists coming out 1 at a time. And at the end of every phase, there is 5 phases. He's going to fire a bunch of fists, and then once he's pushed all the way to the back, he's going to say some dialogue. And he's going to fire 3 subwoofers, which you have to fire back at him to advance to the next phase.
Yeah, so this first part doesn't really have any skips.
Bom, agora ele tem que devolver esses mísseis que ele joga em você. Tem que devolver 3 desse míssil grande.
Which he did learn recently, I believe, right? Some of the cycle skips.
I did. Yeah, my most recent PB, which was, by the way, 5 hours before this run, I actually got all but 1 of them, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Okay, so the first set of fists coming up here is nice. Cycle skip, he's mostly just trying to optimize the time, so he's going to delay this a little bit, and then fire the next fist. The reason he delays the first fist is so that the second fist is right in front of his face, and that speeds up the fist cycle a lot more. Now, coming up here,
bom, ali ele demorou pouco no primeiro soco que o cara jogou nele, porque com ele atrasando a primeira mão, ele conseguiria fazer a segunda bem mais rápido, porque ele estaria bem mais perto dela. Então ele deliberadamente atrasou o primeiro para poder adiantar bastante o segundo.
Yeah, this is the cycle skip that I'm definitely the worst at, so I wasn't really expecting to get this one.
That's fair. And NG Plus is definitely the hardest cycle skip.
Aí ele também tinha um skipzinho uma estratégia um pouquinho mais rápida, mas ele não conseguiu executar. Ele não costuma ser muito confiante nesse trick. Tá travado em um viewer aqui também. Tinha subido, mas desceu de volta para um viewer. O GDQ gringo mesmo tá travado em 1. Aqui a Speedruns Brasil tá funcionando normalmente.
And then we've got another one from Yesowin for $50. Psyched for the Splatoon run. Digging the music and the movement. Thanks for sharing the love for the Squid Game.
Ele tá meio que bugando. De vez em quando ele sobe, de vez em quando desce.
It operates pretty much the same as a fist skip, if you can get it, which I'll explain.
There we go, got it, nice.
So what happened?
Oh wait, I didn't get it.
Ooh, that was a little bit too late.
I thought I had. I think he's still pushed back. No, he's not pushed back enough. All right, rip.
Dang, he's so close too.
He's really close. Maybe I can get lucky. I don't think so. Nah, he's doing fists. So what I was trying to do there, if your last hit on the fist is with the balloon, it actually knocks him back and stutters him, so that it'll actually skip him shooting out his second fist, and he waits a few seconds.
Also known as a
and then
skip.
that's yeah.
Ele quase pegou ali um ciclo bom onde ele conseguiria esquipar um pouco, mas não foi exatamente como ele planejou.
And that's pretty much the only RNG in this fight, which is nice. It doesn't really lose you time if you get 3 rights or 3 lefts. It's pretty much all reaction based, which I heavily enjoy.
And this is another section where it's going to be basically the exact same as the last one, where it's just going to be us pushing him back until the balloon at the end.
Because we cannot get, because we cannot get fist skips consistently in NG+, we are going to shoot both of the fists there.
Bom, nessa parte aqui ele vai querer executar mais ou menos a mesma coisa que ele já estava fazendo, porém ele vai fazer isso para empurrar ele até o destino.
I thought so too, honestly.
Nah, he doesn't miss.
You don't miss.
Yeah, let's just not think about the times that I did miss in this run. Yeah.
This balloon, like you saw in phase 3, can lead to a fifth skip on the left one. Oh,
we're not gonna talk about that. Alright, we're not gonna talk about that.
Meu Deus, ele se jogou.
Octavio is surrounded by this reflexive purple barrier, and if you bounce into the barrier, it has a bouncing property, and it will launch you all the way off of the stage. He did play himself there. Congratulations.
O que aconteceu foi o seguinte, não sei se vocês conseguem ver, mas tem tipo uma aurazinha roxa ao redor do boss. Se ele encostar nessa barreira aí, ele é empurrado. Então ele sem querer encostou nela e caiu lá atrás. Não foi meio que um acidente, mas não foi tipo tão intencional quanto eu tava pensando.
And because that's the last position Octavio thought you were in, all the Octorocks are going to shoot there. And, oh, that was a bit, that was a little bit too early. You waited a bit too much. So, if he would have gotten that would have been another fist skip, and he wouldn't have to go through another cycle of fists.
Ele errou ali pouco o timing, mas sem problema.
Yeah, definitely a minute over just doing no strats at all.
Yeah, because
so instead of saving a minute, we're losing a minute. So
yeah, glitchless Octavio, in my opinion, is pretty boring to watch because a lot of the time you're just kind of waiting. I enjoyed the skipser in this fight. It adds a nice layer to the skill ceiling, especially at the end of the run.
Alright, this part right here is probably the worst subwoofer to hit.
Yeah, the reason he's using the Ink Siga at the end of this phase is because even though it saves time to use it at the end of this phase, it saves more time to use it at the end of phase 5 because the subwoofers are really, really far away. And they actually move much, much faster. Well, the second and third ones move faster after the first. Clarification.
Ele tá guardando pouco as coisas para poder usar mais tarde, porque ele poderia salvar tempo ali, mas ele vai salvar mais tempo se ele esperar.
It probably saves a couple of seconds because he's pushed back past this ink rail, and you do not have to do a slow burst bomb delay setup with this cycle skip, which you will be hopefully attempting.
I'll try for it. We'll see.
You can do it. Yeah, and if he gets it, he'll be pushed back a significant degrees. I believe that was the...
I think I got it. I don't know.
Maybe. No.
That might work.
No, I think you're supposed to do the burst bomb delay in the second one, not the first one.
Ele não conseguiu acertar ali o skip. Se ele tivesse acertado ele, o inimigo teria sido empurrado bem mais longe do que ele foi. Mas não vai afetar tanto. Era um truque bem complicado de executar, então não... Então era meio que esperado que ele já não ia conseguir. Era só... Se conseguisse ia ser bem hype.
What ends up happening is you're firing your gun faster, but each bullet does less damage. So since each bullet does less damage, it just makes it harder to do stuff like fist delays, which is the strategy needed to push him back twice as far.
Also, I just want to point out that I only got one fist.
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
probably
confused
the
why.
worst possible fist to get a fist skip on. But it did all the way to the back, so that was pretty cool.
And Speedy's hitting Suka there, and time is going to be when I grab the final Zapfish, so get ready.
This cutscene?
Yep. And...
E agora ele usou
time. There we go.
GG. E agora ele usou... Ali no final ele usou o que ele tinha guardado para o final. Só que o final foi bem rápido, ele derrotou o boss bem rápido ali no... Porque o boss mudou 3 ataques e ele imediatamente mudou de volta.
Yeah, with 4 deaths and especially that big death on Octavio, that was going to be like a 56, so I will happily take that.
I'm gonna give you a secret. Ain't no one cares about how much you die in a run. It just depends on how entertaining you were, and this was an incredibly entertaining run. I'm very glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining. Thank you.
Ele comentou que a run tá muito boa para a quantidade de vezes que ele acabou morrendo. Ele conseguiu executar as coisas muito bem, apesar das mortes, mas acontece. Às vezes na vida você morre, as coisas acontecem.
It was good.
And yeah, so thank you GDQ for having me. This is the second time ever, or the only time so far that a Splatoon game has had a second showing. So I feel very honored to get to do this.
Yeah, thank you for showing up the
someone
game.
other than Tones.
Yeah, thank you for showing up the
Someone
game.
other than Tones.
And I'm glad that
E aparentemente essa é a segunda vez que o Splatoon aparece na Game Zone Quick, então ele tá bem feliz por ter sido ele o segundo, pelo menos.
Deserve your support, and if you are willing to run Splatoon as well, there's plenty of resources to do that. We have a Discord which is pretty much very active at the moment.
Como já é padrão, caso vocês tenham interesse de correr esse jogo, eles têm um Discord onde eles conversam, né, discutem as coisas, ajudam vocês. Então, vocês têm interesse de correr o jogo, cola no Discord deles. Acredito que você deve achar o Discord deles na página do Splatoon no speedrun.com. A maioria dos Discords relacionados aos jogos, né, se encontra lá. Caso vocês tenham interesse de se integrar mais na comunidade brasileira, vamos colocar assim, tem o Discord também aí no... Acredito que tem um comando para mostrar o Discord. E de lá você também consegue acessar as comunidades brasileiras de vários jogos, pelo menos os mais famosos.